here today on this beautiful sunny evening to Louise Hall Decorative Antiques. And I've come up specifically to look at all the really beautiful pots that Louise and her business partner Geraldine stock in their beautiful Manor House gardens. And so what I'm going to do is show you how you can really quickly plant one of these pots up for some subtle colour in late summer that will take you from August, where we are now, through till late September, early October. What I've done is I've gone literally to Waitrose because I want to show you a look that you can easily achieve at home. The pots I've chosen to plant up at Louise Hall Decorative are these fantastic copper basins, I guess I would call them, and they've got a beautiful verdigris colour on them which just goes really well with these plants. So to anchor the pot, which by the way has got in it some crocks at the bottom for drainage, some horticultural grit, less than a third for drainage, and then the rest is just a straightforward potting compost. But the rosemary here is going to go into the centre, and what that will do will mean that in the winter when we take these plants out that I'm going to pop in, the rosemary will stay in, and that will just be there as something sitting there, giving some evergreen colour during the winter. The next plant I'm going to plant tonight is this really beautiful hydrangea. It's Hydrangea paniculata, and it's called Bobo, this one. There are so many brilliant hydrangeas on the market. This is just a lovely one with very light limey green flower panicles there, which are really very pretty. So what I'm going to do with that is literally gently ease it out, leave the pot there, and just tease out the bottom roots here. And this is a shrub that should be kept really watered well, so don't let it dry out. I'm just going to pop it in the back there, and it's just so beautiful the way the sunlight comes through it, especially at this sort of time in the evening. Next to that I'm going to put an echinacea. This one is called Green Jewel. Just look how gorgeous that is, really lovely. And it's just a very nice combination. So when you're planting these plants, just remember to take the white tags off. I know it's a really obvious thing to say, but so many times a white tag might have been left. It's not the most attractive look. I'm just going to put the echinacea in next to the hydrangea, and the reason they're sitting well together is because the lime green colour, or colours of them both, are just complementing each other there. In the garden here at Louise Hall Decorative, they've already got some salvias, so what I've done is I've chosen a salvia to pick up on the other ones already planted. And what I'm doing is I'm giving Louise a garden in a pot at a higher level from the garden she's already got down at ground level. And as I said, many of these plants, well, all of them in fact, can be taken out when we come to plant bulbs and just popped in amongst her other plants in the border, so none of it will be wasted. So this is just a straightforward salvia, and this is caradonna. There we go. So sometimes what really makes a pot work and makes any garden work is repetition. And here the plant I've chosen to repeat is the Echinacea Green Jewel. Pop that in. So already you can see that the pot's beginning to fill up. I think a really lovely plant that everyone loves is a Verbena, and what I've brought up for Louise today here at Louise Hall Decorative are the Verbena lollipop plants, which are just a slightly shorter version, and normally in the garden I've also brought her up, and you would use Verbena bonariensis, which is just over there. I'm not going to touch it, so it's got a massive bumblebee on it, but that is a really lovely plant. If a plant looks a little bit congested, just do what I'm doing, just pull out, tease out those little roots there, and it will just give the plant a better chance of growing away more quickly. I'm a massive fan of penstemons, and this one's called Phoenix Violet. It's crazy really, but it's from my local supermarket, Waitrose. I'm quite pleased with what Waitrose was offering today. It's a beautiful penstemon. And these flowers, the second they finish flowering, if you just deadhead them, they will flower again, and they'll repeat flowering for you for a long period of time. So this is a really, really garden-worthy plant, and definitely one that's worth popping in your pots. So the final plant I'm just going to pop in is a lavender. It's an English lavender, and this will be a really, really lovely scented leaved plant just to have there to smell, and it will last for a while. And the silvery foliage goes really well with the patina of that copper pot there. And there you have it. So if you've got a spare moment this bank holiday weekend, go on to louisehalldecorative.com, have a look at her pots and decide which ones are for you. Nip down to the Waitrose or a local supermarket that sells flowers. You can choose these plants and get them planted, and it won't take you very long. And the colours don't have to be exactly the same colours I've used, but it's that combination, very simple, as well as blending in with antique stuff. It sort of covers a multitude of planting situations. So give it a go.